evening, everyone, and welcome to Shop Talk Live from the Ghost Biker Garage. I am your host, the Ghost Biker, and I am so excited about tonight's guest. She's somebody that she's actually a very inspirational person to me with what I'm doing with, Dr. Sumner and the historic Scott County Jail, as far as location owners go, and just the way she runs things. I'm going to go ahead and get into tonight's guest because it is going to be, she is on a time schedule. And so we're going to kind of get right to it. I'm going to take a few minutes and introduce her. What we'll do, she's going to have to hop off a little bit early. So we'll cover some of the Ghost Biker stuff that's going on as far as events at the jail. And then also, with Ghost Biker itself. So we'll follow up on that soon. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up her bio. I'm not going to read it all because, I mean, it's it's a really cool bio, and this lady does so much. But my guest tonight is Miss Kristin Lee, and she is the owner of Bellaire House in Ohio, and she's also a profound psychic medium. As a excuse me, I can't talk tonight. As a metaphysician, she helps people when it comes to balancing and overcoming their traumatic paranormal experiences. And she's also a accomplished paranormal investigator who aligns herself with some of the most respected influencers in the industry. With this, she dedicates her afterlife studies to data collection, principally with her property and supernaturally intensified Bellaire House. Her research skills are applied organically and scholastically while infusing a metaphysical component, lifting it to a holistically professional level. She is a published author. She has two books, one entitled 1699 Belmont Street and Paranormal Confessions. We'll put those links up here whenever she comes on. That way you can go find those. She's also appeared on many television shows, the Bio Channel, A&E, Destination America, Travel Channel, Lifetime Television. And just recently, I listened to the Unsolved Mysteries episode that talks about Miss Lee as well as the famed Bellaire House. So I'm going to go ahead, get her pulled on here so we don't waste any time. And again, if you guys have any questions for us tonight, please feel free to put those over in the chat, and I'll make sure to put them in all caps. That way I can go in and I don't miss it in the fray. But go ahead and put those in, and also just keep a lookout for the different links and stuff we're going to show, because you're definitely going to want to subscribe to her channel and also look up some of this information. So I'm going to go ahead and pull on my friend, Miss Kristin Lee.
Hey.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Why don't you kind of tell us how you got started and tell us about the Bellaire House?
Well, how I got started isn't a normal situation. It's a very paranormal situation. Our family was affected by two flash floods, and our house was washed away, and we had to find another home. And I found the Bellaire House on a foreclosed list, and it was a good price, and it was the restart of our stability and self-sufficiency. So I bought it, and after that, we didn't stay there. We can laugh about it now, but back then, boy, we were not laughing. But that's the synopsis of the Bellaire House. A lot of things happened to us that wouldn't happen to non-paranormal families. But then, because the house was so paranormal, and it did, get a lot of attention after that, because of the claims that I made were so strong that a lot of people didn't believe me. But then when they came to check it out for themselves, they finally believed me. So then it just boosted up to TV and becoming one of the most popular paranormal homes in the United States of America. So they say in many different TV shows and other articles that they write. And I mean, it completely changed my life. But now the Bellaire House is an afterlife research center. We don't live there, thank goodness. I funny thing, I haven't really told anybody but my family. I went on strike as a mother the other day because the dishes weren't done and stuff wasn't being done. So I packed my bag, and my friend from West Virginia said that when you pack your bags, it's called your rations. So I packed my rations, and I moved out, and I had every intent on moving back into the Bellaire house to show my family that they needed to, clean the cat boxes, do the dishes, take care of your own laundry, stupid things like that. So I lasted like 2 hours in that house alone. It's like, "See you later." So, I came home real early that morning, and, it didn't work.
Well, that place is crazy. I had the opportunity to investigate it myself in, I believe it was 2017. I went with a friend, Tiffany White, and it was just the two of us staying there. And I got to say, it was probably one of the most unique experiences I've ever had investigating a location, just
Yeah.
because the activity, I mean, it was so active the whole time, but there was a lot of psychological things that we noticed that was happening there.
Yeah. Yeah, the house does mind trip you a lot. It really does. It's still today. I'm just kinda, yeah, sometimes I'm just sitting there like, "Did that really just happen?" How did I know it happened, everybody in the room saw it happen, but how did that happen? And then, the craziest thing is the same names, like very unique names, like Nick Battistone, 2 Nick
Mhm.
Battistones never met each other, and one's from Michigan, one's from Martins Ferry, Ohio, and then they meet at the Bellaire House because they're working on a project together. The most recent one was a younger girl, probably 19, 20 years old from uh, Elwood City, Pennsylvania. Her name's
Okay.
Kat Lang, and, I wrote about Kat Lang in the book. So, I mean, there's so many crazy and when they told me when little Katrina kept saying, "I wanna meet Kat Lang, I wanna meet Kat Lang," I was like, "Well, she's working, but you could go talk to her at Kroger." And then finally somebody pulled me aside and they're like, "You didn't get that, did you?" And I'm like, "Get what?" And they're like, "They're both named Kat Lang." And I'm like, "Get out of here." The best Blanche Devereaux.
Exactly. So, can you share some of the history of the Bel Air House? I know that that's one thing you have done extensive research on
Oh,
that
yeah.
with writing books and such. Can you share a little bit of that history with us?
Sure. Let's see. So Jacob Hetherington, well, let's rewind. First of all, let's go back to the beginning of time. Dun, 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 oh, where's the music? But anyway, the French and Indian War happened there. There were Shawnee and Iroquois tribes that did their ceremonies behind the Bellaire House and all throughout Bellaire. And Moundsville, West Virginia is only 8 miles south of Bellaire. And I found some research last year that about the mound builders. So, I
Okay.
mean, that isn't part of the Bellaire House history, but it's so close. I wanted to throw that in there.
Mhm.
But there was the French and Indian War. We've now learned that George Washington was actually in Bellaire. Um,
Wow.
well, he did stuff and he fought in Bellaire. We found when we did, like, what do you call that? Metal detecting, we found some
Mhm.
muskets and we found old coins, that predates that happened on the land. We found an old brooch, like a early 1800s brooch, um, that was there. So Jacob Davis was the founder of Bellaire, and, he named Bellaire after Bellaire, Maryland. He wanted to honor his home where his mother lived. So it's been spelled differently throughout the years, but it was spelled Bel, like a hyphen AIR, and then it was spelled Bel hyphen AIRE. And I believe the Native Americans also, in a Raven Germasi book, who's no longer with us, who was Strega or Stregun, an Italian witch, he had even stated that the eastern quarters were somehow associated with Bellaire, not Bellaire, but Bellaire, because it was a Native American name, and it's
Mhm.
also elemental from the air, which would represent like Archangel Gabriel, because he's our if we blow through the horn, we know we're blowing, and that is air. That's how I remember things like that, but that's part of it. Coal mine explosion, coal mine fire under the house. Now we had to retract things throughout the years. In the beginning, we thought that the Willow Grove Road coal mine explosion was conjuncted with the Bellaire House, and it kind of is because the Hetheringtons owned those coal mines, but the actual fire did take place under the Bellaire House was in about 1850s, and we found this in a newspaper gossip section that Jacob Hetherington was rumored to spend $8,500, like in the 1850s time frame, to put that fire out. So if it was rumored that he spent that much money to put it out, well, we know what happened. We just don't know exactly how much he spent to put it out. I found out about 2018 that the Bellaire House was part of the Underground Railroad. Reverend Truman, who was the reverend of the old, well, it's still there, but it's the church right across from the Bellaire School. I believe it's the Methodist Church. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it is. It's and him, Reverend Truman, Captain Fink, who ran the industry up and down the river that hired Jacob Hetherington to run the coal mines. Captain Fink, Jacob Davis, Jacob Hetherington, they were all abolitionists. There's some locals here, that are still Kristin Lee. I'm not trying to be negative, but I just want to make this very clear. It is part of the Underground Railroad, and I know that slavery was, it was no more. Ohio was a free state. I get all that. We're talking years ahead of time where they were abolitionists, and they worked with the Quakers,
Mhm.
like on the way to Columbus part of area. They worked with the Quakers to help free people. They helped enslaved people, and I think that's a pretty cool part, of the history. Let's see, gosh, what else? There was deaths in the family. There's deaths in the house. Edwin Hetherington is a seer, was a seer. He's no longer with us, but he did call upon many different modern day psychic mediums to connect him to his sister Lyde, who died in the house. Oh boy, that's an old picture of
It is. I
yeah.
think some of these are yeah, you have made a lot of changes, I think, in quite a few of these or since these pictures.
Yeah, we had some brave people come to work on the house since then, and they poor guys ended up in the hospital with broken bones because, the paranormal, but they still kept going. They probably will never come back. I hope they would, but it's
Work
hard
at
to
your own
find
risk.
people. Yeah, well, yeah, it's hard to find people to work on the house because everybody knows what it is. Oh, that's an old one too. Wow.
Yeah,
That's so
these
cool. Yeah.
yeah, these are probably from, I think, 2017, I think. I
Okay.
have a few from more recent, but there was people in the rooms,
Yeah.
'cause you've every time I've been I think I've been there a total of 4 times now, only once, with just one other person investigating, the other time there were a lot more people there, but, every time you've done some type of improvement or changed something.
Yeah, we try to. We totally try to. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that couch isn't there anymore, the leather one. Yeah, that's we have, beige leather couches now that they can recline. They recline out.
Okay. Yeah, it was interesting because, you had mentioned, the some of the activity that happened there. I know we had quite a bit really interesting experience that happened in the seance room.
Mhm.
And it was a series of events that happened. We had our thermal out. And at the time, I don't know if you still have it, but there were sheets draped over the chairs around the table.
The white
And
ones, yeah.
yes, and so as we're sitting there, the chair beside of me, we see it kinda sink in, like somebody has sat down on the chair there, and so as we're sitting there, we then feel a cold breeze, we pick that up on the thermal, and right after that, we heard it with our ears, we caught it on the thermal because we were recording with that, and we caught it on 2 other recording devices. We caught this voice that said, "My heart." And, it didn't sound male or female. It almost sounded like when someone says something and it's slowed down, so you
Uh-huh.
couldn't really tell a gender. It was just like, "My heart," and it was real drug out. And then right after that, the thermal actually blips. We've never had this happen before. blips like it's trying to show something manifesting. It actually blips this gray like explosion look and then goes away. And so it was really cool to capture all of those things, and the fact that we actually heard it with our own ears and then also caught it on the recorders was really cool.
Wow, that's so cool. That
Yeah.
is. My heart could be lied because she died in the seance room of heart
Okay.
complications. Yeah, she died right in front of
Okay.
the fireplace.
Okay.
Mm,
We were sitting on the back side, kind of near the door,
mhm,
and the chair that sat down beside me was kind of over there at the end,
mhm.
and it moved around in that back way, and so we were able to actually triangulate where the voice came from based on the recorders, that it came from the backside, kind of over. Um, you have the living room over here and the fireplace right here, so it
Right.
was kind of in between that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she comes through a lot in the living room or the seance room. She really does. And she likes flashlights for whatever reason. She really likes to turn them on and off on command. And I know that there's that little thing inside of them that heats them up and all that good stuff. I get it, skeptics. But I mean, could you please turn it off on the count of three? And boom, there she goes, turning it off.
Yeah. You can't
It,
dispute that whenever they're on command and
right,
when other things are reacting with it. Because I love the flashlights,
me
and I'm
too.
with you, it's a controversial tool, but when it goes with other things, you never know.
Yep.
We've got a couple questions over here. Chris says, "Was the house listed as a haunted location, or did you only find out it was haunted after you bought it?"
After we bought it, we found out. Yeah, we were in I was in disbelief. Everybody was in disbelief, but there's so many incidences that can happen before you just like, okay, I've gone through the whole DSM and I probably have every diagnosis in this book because it's either we're all crazy or there's something truly going on here. And, it was something that was truly going on. So we we didn't jump out like cartoon characters out the windows or anything like that. I can laugh and joke about it now because it's taken me, gosh, years and years and years to heal and balance from it. But um, no, it was never told to us that it was haunted. Never, not one time. We didn't know the history. And still today, some of the village people, I call the ones that aren't very nice, the village people in Bellaire, such a devil. Um,
We've
uh,
all got them.
yeah, we do. But they keep saying that it was never part of Jacob Hetherington's land, but it was, and we have the documents to prove it. And it took men, listen, I'm gonna pull in Elena here. It took men coming in from outside of Bellaire to show the attorney in Bellaire the documentation that they found to prove that the Bellaire House was truly legitimately the Hetherington part of the Hetherington home. And Lai died there, and Edwin lived there, and all this stuff that I had made claims for years and years and years. They showed it to him, and he wouldn't stop talking to them. He was shaking their hands, but and God works in mysterious ways. Universe, whatever's right. So we were filming a show called what the heck was it? Paranormal Confessions is what we were going to call it. And it's where,
Mhm.
6 to 8 people stayed in the Bellaire house. Some of them were on teams, and
Yes.
it's kind of like a Big Brother thing, right? But then
Mhm.
COVID happened and it didn't get picked up. But we were filming this, and these boys, Aaron Shriver, um, Landon Wells from Georgia, and Johnny Blaze, they all went out and they found this information. And Miguel Cantu from Texas found it too. So when they showed it to the attorney, the next day I was with the girls, we were shopping, and I saw the attorney, and he looked at me, and I was getting ready to go up to him and shake his hand and be like, "Wasn't that great? Look at all that great information." And he put his head down and he's like, "It's very good to see you, Kristin Lee."
I love it. So did you get a lot of buy-in from the community, or
They hated me. Oh, you should have saw a couple Saturdays ago. There's like still 15 of them. I can't believe they haven't moved on to their best life yet. But they had stated about 2010, 2011, they had stated that that was their mission in life to tear me down. And let me tell you, they have not swayed from that mission yet. And
Wow.
we're talking like years, decades now, decades, over a decade of still, being that little terrorist, that paranormal terrorist toward me. Still
You're
calling
doing
me a
something
Satanist.
right.
I know, right? I'm not a Satanist, by the way. I'm not, I'm just not, I'm really not. But yeah, there's just silly things like that's why I was so taking more time on the Underground
Yeah.
Railroad and enslaved persons, because they ripped me a new one on that one too. And I'm like, please do your history. Just don't do your history 60
Yeah.
years ago or 50 years ago. Do your whole history.
That's right.
Um, Things you find out.
Well,
But
and from
we
judging, I was just gonna say from judging from going to Bellaire, that town in and of itself, I was really surprised. I mean, it has its own feel to it, just the town itself. I mean, I don't think I've ever been to just an eerier town,
I know,
that
right? I can't wait to get out of here. I'm serious. I'm really starting to make a plan to leave Bellaire. I truly, truly am. Like, the family's on board with it. Everybody's ready to go. I just got to find somebody to help me operate the Bellaire House, because we don't want to sell it, because if we sell it to the wrong person, we don't. See, I have a deal with the spirits of the Bellaire House. I protect them. I take care of them. We try not to exploit them as much as other people would. We're not going to let in people that are, one of the new rules, hanging up bloody tampons inside of different
Yeah.
bedrooms and the basement, actually the basement, to be truthful with you, and just
Mm.
exploiting and letting other people in that are not good people. We try to keep it a clean investigation. We try to keep it a safe investigation and little drama as possible. And I just know, I know that if we would hand it over to somebody else, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with it, because then our stories would come out.
Yeah.
Like, I remember 2017, 2018, when I almost lost the house. I really almost
Mhm.
lost it. The people You ever see the movie The Legend of Billie Jean, where she's
Yes.
like, "Fire!" So they made these like buttons of me, and they made posters of my dog and stuff, like my poor deceased dog, because everybody thought I was leaving the house, and they were all going to like sell this merch and make a whole bunch of money off of us. And back then we were on our way to Virginia anyway. We're like, let's just move here. But then we're sitting there, and this guy comes through, and he's like, hey, did you ever think about having an investor, like a partner? And I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
at that point I had nothing to lose. I've become so forward with how I talk to people anymore. I'm like, did you live under a rock? It's like, and he came on board as a partner, but he is 4 or 5 hours away from here. So, I mean, we got to find somebody in order for me to be able to jump in my whip and just see you later, Bellaire. See ya.
Well, and I think that's what was going on whenever I went for the first time, because I think that there was the rumors, because we had reached out to you to see, hey, because we had the investigation booked way out in advance, and
Yep.
so, when we went, we were so glad we did, because it's almost like there's just something that just draws you into it.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's unlike anything, and I've talked to several people. I've had Still City ghost hunters on here. Those ladies, fantastic. And we were talking
Yes.
about some of the different experiences we had there. And they had a lot of the same experiences that I had when I was there. And I just got to say, that house attracts some wonderful people, because, I mean,
It does.
minus, what we
The 10
what we mentioned
percenters.
is exactly.
Yeah.
But talking to people like, Barry Gaunt, and
Mhm.
um I can't even think right now. But there's a whole list of people, Mike Simpson, a lot of different folks that I met just from being associated with your house and different events that you've had there. It's such a great place, and I definitely recommend people check it out.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it. I do. I really love it. And as I wasn't an investigator when I started this journey. I was just this person that, was like 14 credit hours away from a PhD. Okay. That was my life. That was my direction that I was going in. Um, but then the people that I have met, I've made some really, really, really cool friends, like lifetime friends, and then of course too, there's people that just come and they go, and there's, but like the nurses that you heard on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes.
I mean, we get together once a year, outside of the Bellaire House, and we plan vacations together, just like girls' time. And they're hilarious. I mean, they have turned out to be the best friends in the world. Um, but then there's, times where they want to go to the Bellaire House, and I'm like, yeah, I've been here 9 days straight. I really don't want to be here another 3 days with you. And they get it. They understand that. And those are really good friends, but they still love the house and they still come 3 or 4 times a year, but then we have our separate stuff that we do too. And I'm trying to um, get them enough courage to go to the other locations that are in Bellaire now. It's
Hmm.
because it's not just the Bellaire House that's haunted. It's not. It's the whole entire village that's haunted. It truly, truly is. There's so much history. There's so much residual energy. There's so many things that happened in the village that um, there's a lot of stuff I don't even disclose publicly because it's always nice to hear when somebody says, "Hey, I picked this up. Is there any correlation to, I don't know, just use for instance, like Batwoman, okay, or no, Catwoman, one thing, Batwoman. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
as an example, and I would be like, "Holy cow, yes, wow, where'd you get that information?" And that's some of the times where I know I never said anything because then sometimes people come in and they're like, "Well, I'm picking up this. Does it make any sense?" And I'm all like, "Well, yeah, it makes sense, but I've said it a billion times on interviews and books and stuff like that."
Hmm.
So it's kind of, yeah.
And of course, you got to eat at Gula's when you come.
Oh yeah. Oh man, did you see the
Oh,
episode we did at Gula's on My Haunted Village?
I haven't seen that yet. I saw your preview to it, and that was the next thing I was gonna say, that if folks have gotta go and follow your page because you're always going off on these paranormal benders, I guess, if you will, and these long road
Mhm.
trips, and
Yes.
actually really being in these locations, filming for just hours and days, doing this true research at these
Yeah.
locations.
Yes.
So
Yeah. It's
so where
My
can
Haunted
folks watch that
Village.
at? Okay.
YouTube. Yeah, I after years and years and years, I decided to do my own YouTube channel, and it's called My Haunted Village. Kristin Lee, My Haunted Village. But I've been doing a lot of lives there. I ended up getting enough followers or subscribers within a week to go live, because everybody wanted to see what's going on inside of the village of Bellaire. And I thought that was really lucky. I was very lucky to have that many supporters that quickly. Um, so a lot of them are definitely live videos. There's like this one right here where
Oh, I
you
see.
see, yeah, there's Gula's. There's two parts of Gula's. There's one
Okay.
building called the 1890 building. The old Benton County Jail. Me and my son did that one together. And then up at the top, we were in Manassas, Virginia. My son records music up in Manassas, and we actually did an investigation on the battlefield in Manassas with his hip
Oh,
hop
cool.
group. and now
Nice.
his, and now his hip hop group is so into the paranormal, like they love the paranormal, especially JT. He's the one in the middle. That they spoke to Juice World, they spoke to X. I mean, and that's on that video. You can hear them. You can hear Juice come in and like they're like, Juice, why don't you? Juice is a hip hop artist too. He's no longer with us, but they were trying to connect to deceased loved ones, and you can actually hear the voices of the legends that come through, and they're singing their songs with them. Like this
Wow.
stuff just doesn't happen. I mean, this stuff like, and they're using like I can't even remember what equipment they were using. God, but I was not in the video at all because I was filming it, but I was just like, you could probably see me breathing heavy, like, yes, I get to choose the world. Yeah, that was so cool. But Gula's, man, holy cow. Gula's, wow, that place was that that was crazy. That was good. And I haven't even uploaded like 3 or 4 episodes because my kid has had me on this adventure, like this hip hop adventure. So I've got like 3 other, locations. One is the escape zone that will be open very soon for investigations. There, she is letting people that are referred in right
Mhm.
now. She's not fully functional just yet, but that doesn't stop the ghosts from talking to us. I think there's a live feed where it says Haunted Escape Zone,
Let's
where Sean
see.
Austin and I went in there and we did a 3-hour investigation. And
Is it the
it
haunted
was,
escape room?
yep, it was incredible. That was it.
Okay.
Listen, I felt more comfortable being in the Bellaire House than I felt being in that escape zone that night. That's how off the
Wow.
charts that energy was in there. I mean, it was
Wow.
pure evil, just evil that night. And then you go in on other nights and it's not that evil, but it's still creepy.
Yeah.
But that was part of the speakeasy, and that's also part of Jacob Hetherington's land. Remember, Jacob
Wow.
Heathering owned, this is crazy. He owns 666 acres of land in Bellaire, which is pretty much all of Bellaire. Isn't that nuts? 666.
That's a lot, and that's another person right there that, I actually became familiar with from events and stuff that you've done at, Bellaire House or that you've posted is Sean, and he's, I mean, just
He's stellar.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a stellar guy. He respects women 100%. He respects human
Mhm.
beings 100%, spirits, and plus he's just so happy-go-lucky, he's just a good guy. But he's coming down with his film crew soon. I believe it's in August. It's called the Scare Network, and we're actually going to do
Oh,
3 or
yeah.
4 different documentaries about Bellaire House, Bellaire itself, and some crazy stuff that's been going on in Bellaire that nobody's known about. We've
Nice.
never ever been allowed to talk about it, but I did finally get permission from the chief of police to talk about it, and
Mhm.
we're gonna be doing that.
Nice, and that's Dave Spinks's network, correct?
No, this is
Oh,
a
it's
whole
not?
different other guy's network,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think
Okay.
Sean is a partner in it, I think. Yeah, you gotta talk to
Okay.
Sean about that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm just
Gotcha.
happy to be there.
Right? Well,
Yeah,
I've put the link to your site there over in
thank
the
you.
comments. We pulled it up, so, definitely guys go and check that out and subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of great videos on there. And you said so those different locations that are located in the village, what are those again? You said there's the escape room?
The escape zone, yeah, and
Mhm.
I believe in October, maybe November, I gotta double check. Her name's Cindy, but just get a hold of her. Like, I can get you her personal phone number,
Okay.
and she allows me to give it out to people if you want to investigate that. Is the escape zone. It's literally a block from the Bellaire House. There's the
Okay.
barn, the old antique furniture store. We haven't uploaded that video yet either. But I do know that Paranormal Quest, those guys, they were in there. They did an episode there. Um, that's open too. That one's open right now,
Okay.
to go in. Then Gula's, we're still trying to figure out how to finagle Gula's. There's an apartment upstairs that's open, and we want to keep it open for a research apartment, but some people in Bellaire just have to give people a hard time. So we're working on things with that. But Gula's food is amazing. And if
Yes.
Elena's working, she'll definitely fill you guys in and show you what's up. Now, the coolest thing about Gula's, though, I think where we are at this point is if people are too scared to spend the night in the barn, the escape zone, or the Bellaire House, that apartment hopefully can be open for scaredy cats. We call it the scaredy cat apartment. But understand somebody died in that apartment, and we did make communication with them respectfully. um,
Mhm.
it's you got to watch the 2 episodes. It's let me tell you, when you hear that man come through that died up there. He was such good friends with my friend Elena. She's the bartender and waitress at Gula's, and he says, "Hi, Elena." It just,
Wow.
and that was using the miracle box that Stephen Huff
Okay.
just put out. The one where you slide back and
Mhm.
forth. So I know Hi Elena is not programmed in that box. I know
No.
it's not at all.
No. That's not
And
really a
you
common name either.
No, no. And isn't it weird? Lane and Elena.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone sometimes. I really do.
Well, I think, you'd mentioned Lane and in his videos with, his group. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on the screen here. Why don't you go ahead and share some cool news about what he's doing?
Oh yeah, 1699 YDD. That's my son. His real name's Lane, and I don't think he knew about the YDD. I'm just being straight with you because I'm his mother. And it is explicit hip hop music. He's very, very talented. You can find him on all platforms. He just dropped an album, like a full album. Like I can't believe he did. He did it all on his own. That it's called A Love Letter for You. He wrote it about his ex-girlfriend. Like, listen, I got maybe 2 or 3 songs that were wrote about me from my exes. 'Cause, I used to be a musician, not a whole album. So this girl needs to be like very grateful.
Does she know about it?
Oh, she knows about it. Yeah, she still likes him a whole bunch now that he released it. But I think they decided to do the right thing and say it was toxic and it was maybe when they get older. Hopefully when they get older, but now's not the time. But then he dropped a tape with his group, JT, Alex, B Rose, and 1699, or they call him YDD. They dropped this tape July 4th, and he had to hightail it to Virginia, and he was in Manassas and Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was hanging out with some major celebrities up there. I mean, hardcore, like major hip hop celebrities. I was so proud of him. I was so scared because that's my son, you know what I'm saying? And I'm this old Seattle grunge musician. It's like it's a whole new world to me. Plus I named him after Lane Staley, right? From Alice in Chains. But
Of course.
1699 YDD. But he's on every platform. My favorite song on The Love Letter for You is Sober Up. Now his YouTube channel, 1699 YDD, and that's where you can check out his music videos because
Okay.
he's got one music video out and he's dropping one at the end of this month, and then he's already got them. They're already done. He's just being smart about marketing, and he's dropping a new music video every month to keep it fresh. I mean, this is all him. I just support him the best way that I can, but yeah, there he is. And there's his oh, yeah, A Love Letter for You. Yep. I don't know what that is. Oh, Sober Up. Oh my gosh, that's a great song and it's a great video. And the diversity of his group, like the nationalities, like it's pure America right there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
every ethnicity inside of his group, and they're all best friends. You know what I'm saying? I was so stoked about that. I was like, you boys, you just go. You show everybody.
There
You
you
show
go.
everybody we all get along. You show everybody what it's like to be kind and stop saying the F word in your songs. You know what I mean?
Proud mama moment. I mean, you definitely got to be proud because I know to be so, to be able to move so far so young, that's awesome.
I'm so proud of him. I really am. I'm gonna wherever he wants to go, I'll take him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm stepping back from the Bellaire House too, because
Mhm.
you've known me for years, and I've always
Mhm.
said families first, and this is
That's
his
right.
dream. This is his goal, and come hell or high water, I'm gonna make sure he gets it.
That's right.
Before he's doing it.
So I know we're going to be wrapping things up here in just a few minutes, but I wanted to go ahead and pull up just a couple more things. I know you've got a couple books out. Wanted to go ahead and pull that up here. Um, is this the best way to find your books?
Yes, thank you. I always forget about my book because it was written in COVID. It's like we're all locked down. What are we gonna do? I'll finish the book.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an audiobook to it as well. It's like 4 hours and
Okay.
50 minutes or something like that. I didn't pick the voiceover, the publishers did, but yeah, that's the book. And I like it. I like the first one, but I like this one. Okay, I'm lying. I really don't like the first one. I like this one a lot better than the first one. Because in the beginning of the first one, I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm a damsel in distress. Somebody called the spirit of 78 and help me get down from this tree. You know what I mean? It's like I was a cat up in the tree. But this one was like after, 10, almost 13 years of research and really having a handle on what was going on and looking at it not only from the metaphysical side of things, but also the psychological side of things and a paranormal investigator. So I really do like this one.
Absolutely. So we've got this link in the show notes, but we can also add it over into the comments as well. So, guys definitely want to check that out. And then also, let's see here, see what else I've got here before. So I'm just going to pull up the website here because that's where it's got all of your information as well as the information on the Bellaire House.
Yeah. Yeah, you can book your overnight stays there as well. We do tours, like 2-hour tours, but we have to do those by appointment because it's just Lane and Daniel and I running the operation. It's what we've always kind of just kept it real, our circle very small with the house. But yeah, it's, and plus all three of us are super busy. So we always ask people just call and see where we are, see where you are, and let's try to set appointments up for the daytime tours. But we do have a code key on the house now for people just to let themselves in case we're out of town. So that's how we're rolling with it right now.
Very nice. And anything interesting that you've got coming up that you can talk about? Like I said, I know you're very busy. Anything you want to promote or anything like that?
The only thing that I think that I at 100% committed to was the B&O Railroad. It's in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a fundraiser to help restore the B&O Railroad as a haunted location. And that's really the only thing I'm going to be able to do this year because 1699 YDD's got me running all over the place doing shows and music videos and stuff. But that's pretty much it. I believe that's at the end of September. It's there's a death cart that we're going to investigate in Cleveland.
Ooh,
Yeah, if you want to come, let me know. I can talk to the
okay.
event coordinator. But
I
that's
would
so
love
far
that.
right now, that's really all I have. I really wanted to go to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. Oh my God, I love Gettysburg. But Lane's got a show, and well, I
Oh.
probably should have told him before I announced that. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of Pam right now. But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to go to that the whole time. Maybe on the way back from the DMV, I can come on that Sunday or something. But yeah, there's no way.
Wow.
There's just not a way yet.
Ah,
Unless somebody steps up and takes him for me, but I really wanna watch it. I wanna watch his shows. He's so talented, and I'm so proud of him. Plus, I wanna do videos of him too. Not like mom videos, like real videos. But,
well,
there's another one on the 15th of August. It's called the Gretchen Festival. That one, OPIT is paranormal team out of East Liverpool, Ohio. They
huh.
invited me to come to that one. I'm thinking about it. But again, he's got a gig. So we'll see. Yeah, he's gigging more than I am in paranormal.
Well, you need to clear up a little bit of space and come down here to East Tennessee and come down to the historic Scott County Jail,
I would
and
love to.
I would love to get your take on
Yeah,
some of the different things, see what you capture, and really just thank you. You have been such a wonderful inspiration of the way you run
thank you.
things, and then also just I know we've communicated some while I was in the process of working on this with Dr. Sumner, and you've just been an amazing advocate and wonderful sounding board as far as helping with organizing things. So, I appreciate that very
Oh,
much.
you're welcome. If you ever need anything, just call. I mean it. Whatever you need. If you want me to send you an updated new waiver, I will.
I would love that.
I do not
I
wanna
would
see
love
you
that.
go through what I went through for the past 14, 15 years. If we can avoid that, then we're ahead of the game, you know?
Yeah, because you don't know until you know. And then when you
Right.
find out, it blows your mind, and
Yes.
so, but like I said, I know you're gonna have to go, and of course, my business partner is on here, and she says, "Yes, thank you, Kristen Lee."
You're welcome. Thank
Like I said,
you.
you have, as far as all kinds of stuff. You've been, like I said, a great inspiration and help. Do a plug right quick of the best places. I know we've got links in the show notes, but do a plug of all of that. The best places people can find you, see what you're doing, and we'll make sure if we don't have it on the show notes that we add it.
Well, there's not gonna be a lot, okay? But,
Hmm.
My Haunted Village, Kristen Lee's My Haunted Village on YouTube, um, is probably where you'll find me the most. Bellaire House Tours on Facebook is where we'll put, dates and stuff like that, and really really it's gonna be YouTube because, I'll be out and about being the hip hop grandma.
I love it. And we've got that link right here. So you guys definitely go on, check out Kristen Lee's videos, check out 1699 YDD, and, catch one of the shows because it sounds like he's going to be in some areas near you.
Yeah, he's gonna be all over here real soon, and so thank you,
Wow.
thank you, thank you.
Well, I'm going to let you get to it because, like I said, I know you're a very, very busy person. So thank you so much for taking the time to come on tonight. And we'll be in touch here,
All right.
pretty soon.
All right, thank you. Good
Thank you.
night. I
Have
love
a good
you
night.
guys.
All right. So thank you again to Kristen Lee for taking the time to come on with us. And, thank you guys so much here in the chat room for coming on. We wanted to go ahead because she had some prior commitments that she actually took a break from to come on tonight's show and share some different stories and such. So, thank you guys for your questions. I know we weren't able to get to everybody's question that was on there, but I highly encourage you to check out the Bellaire House. It's located in Bellaire, Ohio. There's so many really cool things, not just there in the village, but just in that area. We've had Steve from the Archive of the Afterlife. He's just across the river there in West Virginia. Moundsville, that's just right down the road from Steve's and right across the river from, excuse me, from the Bellaire House. So you can literally plan not just a weekend, but you could probably plan a week's trip and see some amazing locations, some of the most haunted locations in the Northeast there, there in Ohio and West Virginia. So definitely go and check that out. I know I've got some videos from several of those places on the Ghost Biker page. Go on, check out the different links. Check out Kristen Lee's because she travels, she does a lot of investigating. So definitely want to go and check that out. Let me go ahead and pull up my calendar here and we'll talk just a few minutes about a few different events that we've got coming up here with Ghost Biker and with the jail. Next week, I'm going to be having the guys from Fallen Hour podcast back on. I had them on here, I think about 2 months ago. And as we were talking, we got to talking about some really, really cool theories and different styles and ways that they base their investigations on, which kind of goes back to their biblical religious beliefs. Also, they grew up there on the Crow Indian reservation, so it ties back into that. They're very, very spiritual guys, and so they're going to be on the show next. Like I said, let me make sure I'm looking at that date right. Yes, they're going to be on, and then the very next week, I'm going to have Miss Marie Russell, who actually goes by the name Buffy. It depends on who you're talking to, whether she's Marie or Buffy. She's going to be on, and we're going to be talking about some really interesting topics with her as well. I'm super excited about the different shows that we have coming up here in July. And can you believe it's already July? We're trending toward October, trending toward season 5 of Ghost Biker Explorations and to spooky season. We're halfway there, so very excited about that. And then, of course, as of right now, There may not be a show on July 28th. I'm actually going to be coming back from a filming project in the Chicago area, so I'm going to be coming back on that Thursday. So there may or may not be on that show, but we've got some great shows stacked up leading toward that. Here at the historic Scott County Jail, we've got some amazing things here in July. We've got our ghost walks or our haunted history walks. We've got flashlight tours, and we've got guided ghost hunts. Tomorrow night, we've got some tickets left for the haunted history walk that starts at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It meets there at the jail. We walk down through downtown Huntsville, sharing some of the most haunted and historical tales of the area. And then it ends, it's about a 45-minute walk. It ends at the historic Scott County Jail, and we do a flashlight tour telling all of the, and it's a very intimate tour, telling all the stories, telling all of the haunts and the history of the historic Scott County Jail. So that's going to be tomorrow night. We've got a paranormal team on Saturday night that's going to be investigating there. We still have a few dates available at for investigations in July. For the most part, it's pretty well booked up with flashlight tours, ghost walks, and other different events that we've got going on. We're working on getting another motorcycle ride scheduled for the end of July. And then we've also on Saturday night, which I think is July 9th, we're going to be at Music on Main in downtown Oneida. So I'm going to have Ghost Biker merchandise there. I'm also going to have historic Scott County Jail. They're having their Veterans Appreciation there, and they're also doing their History in the Streets. So people are encouraged to bring in all of their different historical items from the Scott County area. If you've got photos, if you've got newspaper articles, if you've got stuff that you would like to have scanned, they've got a person there that's doing that. So it's going to be straight up history in the streets, and it doesn't get any cooler than that. They got music, they've got food trucks. So that's going to be this coming Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern time in Oneida, Tennessee. So come to the jail, take a tour during the day, and then head on up about 20 miles up to Oneida and check out their History in the Street with Music on Main. And then just check out the historic Scott County Jail's website that's got all of our different events that we do have open. Again, you can book your investigation on the paranormal tab. You can also go in and book your flashlight tour or your guided ghost hunt. If we have a date that's not on there, reach out to us. You know, if you're traveling and you want to bring your family in, you can reach out to us and we can actually do a custom tour for you if we don't have another event scheduled on that day. I know we had a couple of those last week of guided ghost hunts of folks that wanted to have those customized. So we've got all of that kind of lined up. July and August, we will be adding more ghost walks. We will be adding more flashlight tours. And actually a few special events. We're working on several very, very, very special things that we hope to be able to announce within the next couple weeks that we're just super, super excited about at the historic Scott County Jail. And so I don't remember if I just said that website, but let me go ahead, tap it right here. Okay, so so please feel free to go check out the website for these special events. We are still working on the final findings from our paranormal research study that folks went and they participated in. I forget how many teams that we had. 20-something teams participate in that. So we're still working on the findings and working out how we're going to actually present those findings from the paranormal research study, working with the detective on that. We hope to end up having that really soon. We will also here in a few weeks be starting back up the Jailhouse Informant podcast, which will take place on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it will be live from the jail with myself and my business partner, Dr. Kristin Sumner. So that will be coming up a little bit on down the road. We were taking a little bit of a hiatus from that because we have been traveling so much. And then also, as far as Ghost Biker stuff, thank you for sticking with me here till the end. But as far as the Ghost Biker stuff that we've got going on, We got some different events. Like I said, we'll be at Music on Main this coming Saturday. There are really things really start to pick up because we are filming and working on the last minute filming, but the production of season 5, and season 5 is going to start that first Tuesday in October, and a new episode is going to drop every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We will not have a guest on Thursday nights. We will jump back into the behind the screens where we go live and we talk about the different locations that we've investigated. So that's going to be coming up all in October. So we are working very, very hard to wrap up those final investigations, get onto the editing process. And then in September, a lot of the different events start. I know that September 10th, going to be at Octagon Hall, doing a motorcycle ride, doing a VIP investigation. The very last weekend in October and the last weekend in September, first part of October, we're doing a motorcycle ride and paranormal investigation. It's actually a 3-day weekend, and it's going to be in London, Laurel. It's in London, Kentucky, and we're partnering with the London Laurel Tourism Commission as well as Wildcat Harley Davidson. That's going to be going on. And then I feel like there is, it's going to be in mid-September. It is the Deep South Paranormal Convention that Stan Fikes with Wire House Haunts is putting on. So we need to get all these dates updated, get those out there if you want to join us for those events. So again, throw a lot of information at you at the last minute, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your questions and your comments. We wouldn't have a show if we didn't have you guys. Go check out Miss Kristin Lee, the Bellaire House, book an investigation, check out her videos, and check out some of the different locations that are located up there in the village. And then be sure to tune in on next Thursday night when we have the guys from Fallen Hour. So until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed week, and we will see you very soon.